Are you trying to find out which buff or bonus work in what event or which buff don't work in what event? You have clicked the right video. Hello my champ, how are you all? I am your shield. Today again we are back with Whiteout Survival. In today's video, I am talking about all the buff or bonus in Whiteout Survival. I know you guys are confused. You cannot always understand which buff work in what place. You always ask me this question, in this event what buff work, or in that event what buff does not work. So today I have come with a full chart. I have made a full list about all the event and all the buff, and I will tell you in simple explanation how buff work in what event. So let's jump in our video. Before going to our main topic, I just want to tell here there are two type of stat: direct addition and multiplication. What are these? Try to understand. Let's say your current stat is 500%. Okay, current stat 500%. Your stat increase by 2%. If it is direct addition stat, then it will be 502. Okay, your stat was 500, it increased by 2%. It is direct addition, so current stat will be 502. Now let's say your stat is 500. Again it is increasing by 2%, but it is multiplicative stat. So in that case it will be 512. How? So your stat is increasing by 2% for 100. In base value 100, your stat is increasing 2%. So if the value is 500, then your stat increase by 10%. Okay, so 500 plus 10, that means 510, and you have to add another 2 for the extra direct addition. So the total stat will be 512. Did you understand? So in the first one it was 500 plus 2, that means 502. That was direct addition, and when it go multiplicative stat, 500 plus 10 plus 2, that means 512. That's how direct addition and multiplication stat work. Alright guys, we have come to a full chart of every buff and every event. Now before starting, I want to tell you in simple word what buff we are talking about or what event we are talking about. So on the heading you can see all the list of the buff. I'm trying to put it up a little bit. Okay, you can see. So the first one you are seeing, that is pet skill buff. If you don't know what is pet skill buff, I will show you. So you can click right here, you can check all the buff. These things are called pet skill buff. You have to manually activate that. And I am mainly talking about all the combat buff in this video. Okay, I will mainly talk about the combat buff. So that is the pet skill buff. The next one we are talking, that is the alliance buff. Alliance buff means we are getting the buff from the research in the alliance. If you don't understand, I will show you. So go to alliance and click on the tech, and you can check all the buff right here. If you click on the this icon on the top left corner, you can find out what bonus I am talking about. So these are the bonus we are getting from the alliance tech or alliance research. Our next buff, that is the territory buff. What is territory buff? When we are inside the alliance area, we get some bonus from our alliance. Okay, so I will show you that thing. Now go to alliance and go to territory, and on the bottom side you can see the bonus stat. Here you can find the bonus. You can see territory defender attack. These two things, attack and defense, right? So these two things we are talking about in this bonus. Our next buff, that is the city bonus. If you don't understand, I will show you what is the city bonus. Now open the game and go to top left corner, and here you can find out the city bonus. I am mainly talking about the attack, defense, health, lethality. They have a 10%, 20% chance, 20% stat. And also there is enemy defense down, enemy attack down, And in the first column, I am talking about all the battle or the combat type buff. And there is one more column. In that column, I am talking about the deployment capacity. There is 10% and 20% deployment capacity. I will talk about that in the next column. So here you can see in the first column, I am talking about the city bonus, that is the combat type buff. And next one, I am talking about city bonus, that is the deployment type buff. Next one, Daybreak Island buff. If you don't understand, I am showing you. Go to Daybreak Island here and click on the top right corner. You can see this bonus we are getting from the Daybreak Island. We are getting infantry attack, infantry defense, lancer attack, lancer defense. All the bonus we are getting from the Daybreak Island. We will check where this bonus are working. Next one is the March acceleration buff. Now, if you don't understand, I am showing you right now. So go to our world map. Let's say I'm attacking here, and now you can click on this button. You can see that this button, you can click on this, and the bottom side of my screen you can check March accelerator 1, March accelerator 2. So the first one is 25% buff, second one 50% buff. So where this buff is useful, where we can go very fast, I will talk about that. Our next buff, that is the minister buff and the president skill. If you don't understand, I am showing you. Go to Sunfire Castle. In the Sunfire Castle, the first one you find appointment details. Here the Minister of Defense, that is giving you some lethality, and Minister of Strategy, that is giving you some attack and some deployment capacity. Okay, that is the minister buff. Even president have some buff. Next one, president skill. Here you can get the Supreme President Will, that has 10% lethality, plus lot of different bonus you can check from there, like ceasefire, force exile, state search, lot of president bonus. So I just told about minister buff and president skill. Next one is the expert. Our expert have some bonus. Okay, I will show you what is that. Go to our expert Dawn Academy and click on the bottom here. You can find what bonus you are getting from your expert. For combat, you can get the bonus from mainly Romulus. For arena, you can get the bonus from Holgar. Bear Hunt, you get the bonus from Cyril. And for Foundry, you get the bonus from Fabian. There are a lot of expert. I will tell all the expert one by one where you are getting what bonus. Our next one is the skin. By the skin, I mean city skin, marching skin, then the teleport skin, or I can talk about the name card. Okay, if you don't understand, I can show you. So go to our profile and click on the skin and click on the top right corner. You can find out what bonus you are getting from what item. You can get troops attack, troops defense, hunting march speed. Hunting march speed work only in the non-player character. Okay, remember that. March speed and hunting march speed, they are different. March speed work on the real player. Hunting march speed work on the non-player character. Alright, so I told you about almost every bonus right here. I told you about all the headings. Now I will talk all the event one by one, and I will tell you where which bonus work or where which bonus does not work. Let's see. First we are talking about the Frostfire mine. In the Frostfire mine, pet skill definitely work, and I tell you, before you enter the Frostfire mine, activate the pet skill. Okay, like 5 minutes before, activate the pet skill. Alliance buff will definitely work. Territory buff will not work because we are not inside our alliance when we are playing the Frostfire mine. We go to some different zone. There is no territory for us, so it will not work. City bonus, that means 10% or 20% attack, health, lethality, all of them work in the Frostfire mine. Even deployment capacity 10% or 20% that work in the Frostfire mine. Daybreak Island, of course, work in the Frostfire mine. Okay, and March accelerator, it is the very important thing in the Frostfire mine. If you want to capture the smelter, you have to go very fast. You need the acceleration, and if you can capture the smelter for at least 1 second, you can get the ranking for the smelter. Okay, try to capture the smelter for at least 1 second. Next one, minister buff will not work in the Frostfire mine. President skill will not work in the Frostfire mine. Next one is the expert that will definitely work in the Frostfire mine. You can use the Romulus in the Frostfire mine. And the skin. Skin means city skin, marching skin. Yeah, they work in the Frostfire mine. Our next event, not exactly event, our next place, that is the facility. Now facility, what happens? Pet skill of course work. Okay, it is a very important thing. Alliance buff will definitely work. Territory buff. If I am talking about old Whiteout Survival, that time territory buff work for the facility. But after an update, it is not working in the facility. Now try to understand what I said. During facility battle, if anyone attack you on your city directly, and if you are inside the alliance banner area, then you can get the territory buff. But if you are fighting for the facility, if you are inside the facility as the garrison bonus member or something like that, in that case territory buff will not work. It used to work in old Whiteout Survival, but now it is not working. Okay. City bonus of course work. 10% or 20% attack, defense, health, lethality, all of them work in the facility. Deployment capacity work in the facility. Daybreak Island work in the facility. March acceleration. It is mainly for the rally joiner who want to join very fast in the facility rally. They can use the acceleration, but the rally caller, they cannot use that to go very fast for the facility. Okay. I mean, only for rally joiner, the acceleration will work, but not for the main rally caller who want to go very fast in the facility. Minister buff definitely work. President skill definitely work. And you can use the ceasefire on someone if you want. During facility, you can use the ceasefire. Expert skill, Romulus skill, of course, work. And city skin, that is definitely working. By the way, marching skin that have the hunting march speed. Hunting march speed will not work in the facility. Remember that. Next one, Foundry or Tundra arms. Both are same event. Pet skill, of course, work in the Foundry, but I tell you, before you enter the Foundry battle area, that zone, before entering there, activate the pet skill. Okay. I mean, 5 minutes before, activate the pet skill before entering the Foundry battle. Alliance buff, I mean the alliance tech will of course work there. Territory buff will not work because we are not in our territory. We are entering a different zone where is no territory, so it will not work in the Foundry battle. City bonus of course work. It is a very important thing. 10% or 20% buff definitely work. Deployment capacity also work in the Foundry battle. Daybreak Island of course work in the Foundry battle. March acceleration, very important thing in the Foundry battle. You can use that. And you get free March acceleration. When you are playing Foundry battle, you can get 10 free acceleration for the March. Okay, you can see that yourself. You get 10 free that thing. Okay, it automatically recharge. Minister buff work in the Foundry battle. President skill work in Foundry battle. By the way, you cannot use the ceasefire or the force exile on the Foundry battle. Ceasefire, force exile will not work in the Foundry battle. Expert of course work. Romulus work in Foundry battle. Plus the Fabian. Fabian have the Foundry skill. So Fabian work in the Foundry battle. Skin also work in the Foundry battle. By the way, hunting march speed, that is not for player. Okay. Hunting march speed will not work on the player. Next one is the cannon clash. Pet skill definitely work. I tell you, before you enter the cannon clash, 5 minutes before you can activate the pet skill. I mean, look, what people can do, we get almost 24 hours time in our hand. I mean, on the battle day, we get time to set our 3 team. You know that. We set our 3 formation with our 9 heroes. During that time, don't use the pet skill. I say, before entering the cannon clash, activate the pet skill, activate the city buff, then you manage the team. Okay, I know it is difficult, but 5 minutes or 10 minutes before entering the cannon clash, when you are setting up your 3 team for the canyon, you can set up the pet skill, you can set up the city buff. By the way, pet skill or city buff, that is increasing your deployment capacity, that will not work in the canyon. You cannot increase your deployment capacity in the canyon. It is fixed at 300k. Territory buff will not work because you are not inside your alliance area. You are fighting in other place when you are playing the canyon clash. So it is not working. And I just told you, city bonus will work. Activate that thing before entering the canyon clash. But Deployment capacity cannot work in the canyon. Daybreak Island will work in the canyon clash. March acceleration is very important thing for the canyon clash. You have to get lot of march acceleration when you are going to specific building. March acceleration very important for the canyon clash. All right. Minister buff work in the canyon. President skill work in the canyon. By the way, you cannot use the force exile or you cannot use the ceasefire. Okay, those things are not available in the canyon. Don't use that. Expert skill of course work in the canyon, and skin buff work in the canyon. Next one we have fortress. In fortress, pet skill of course work, alliance buff of course work. Fortress and facility they are same. I mean there is no difference for facility battle or fortress battle. Everything you can see that is totally same. Territory buff will not work in the fortress. If you are talking about old whiteout survival, that time territory buff work in the fortress, but today in fortress battle territory buff don't work. Now if you are sitting inside your alliance area and if you get attack on your city, if anyone attack your city directly, that time territory buff work. But inside fortress you cannot see the 10% buff for territory. Okay, city bonus of course work, 10% 20% buff work. Deployment capacity work in the fortress. Daybreak work in the fortress. March acceleration, it is mainly for the joiner who want to join the rally very fast. The rally caller they cannot go very fast for the fortress. Okay, minister buff work in the fortress. President skill work in the fortress. By the way, during facility or fortress you can use the ceasefire or you can use the force exile if you want. Expert skill work in the fortress. Skin work in the fortress. So yeah, you see that fortress is here. Next one is castle battle. Pet skill definitely work and it is only for 2 hours, so be careful because castle battle is more than 2 hours. Be careful when you are going to use that. And it is mainly for the rally or garrison bonus member. The rally joiner or garrison joiner, they don't need the pet skill or they don't need the city bonus. Okay, alliance buff work for the castle battle. Territory buff will not work for castle battle. Now if we are talking about the old whiteout survival, that time territory buff work in the castle battle, we could use that. But today, nowadays we cannot use the territory buff for the castle battle. Facility battle, fortress battle, castle battle, they are basically same. You can check all the things, they are almost same. City bonus work for the Sunfire Castle. Deployment capacity work for the Sunfire Castle. Daybreak Island work for the Sunfire Castle. March acceleration, it is mainly for the rally joiner who want to join the rally fast. Rally caller cannot use that march acceleration. Minister buff and president skill. There is no president during the Sunfire Castle. So minister buff does not exist. President skill does not exist during the castle battle. Next one is the expert. Expert skill of course work. Okay, it is very important. And skin of course work. I mean hunting march speed, that particular bonus is not working on the real player. I told you hunting march speed will not work. So facility battle, fortress battle, castle battle, they are almost similar. Next we have alliance championship. In the alliance championship, pet skill of course work, alliance buff work. Territory buff will not work because we are not fighting any real battle in the alliance championship. So there is no territory buff. City bonus of course work. Now I want to tell you one thing. On the Tuesday, it is the best time to enter the alliance championship. On the Tuesday, when you are playing Frostfire mine, or if you are playing bear hunt, that time you activate the pet skill, that time you activate the city bonus, right? That time you can update your troops or you can enter the alliance championship. Okay, so if you are already inside alliance championship, I mean if your troops are already there and the battle has not started yet, you can still update your troops, you can still update your power by activating the pet skill, activating the city bonus. Even minister buff also work in the alliance championship. So what I told you, Tuesday night after playing bear hunt, after playing the Frostfire mine, you have still the pet skill active, you have still the city buff active. That time you can enter the alliance championship to update your troops. Alliance buff worked. Okay, city bonus work. Daybreak Island also work in the alliance championship. March acceleration is not working because there is no movement in the alliance championship. Okay, minister buff work, I told you. You can take the minister buff, then you can enter the alliance championship. President skill, of course, work. The supreme president's will 10% lethality that can work in the alliance championship. Expert also work in the alliance championship, and skin bonus also work in the alliance championship. Next one is that is the bear hunt. In the bear hunt, the pet skill work, but not all pet skill. Only offensive pet skill work. That means if any pet giving you health or defense, those type pet skill is not effective in the bear hunt. Only those type pet who are giving you attack, lethality, offensive pet. Offensive pet work in the bear hunt, okay? Alliance buff work in the bear hunt. Territory buff will not work in the bear hunt because territory buff is defense type, okay? Territory buff is mainly for defense, it will not work here. Next one is the city bonus. In the city bonus, only offensive city bonus work in the bear hunt. Defensive city bonus, that means health up or defense up, those things are not for bear hunt, okay? In bear hunt, only offensive city bonus, offensive pet skill work. Next, we have the deployment capacity that will work in the bear hunt. Daybreak Island work in the bear hunt. March acceleration not for bear hunt. You cannot attack the bear very fast. You can join the rally very fast by using the acceleration. But your acceleration will not work on your rally to attack the bear, okay? Minister buff work in the bear hunt. President skill work in the bear hunt. Expert skill, expert also work in the bear hunt, especially the Cyril. Cyril is important for the bear hunt. Skin also work in the bear hunt. Next one, Crazy Joe. Crazy Joe, everything work. For Crazy Joe, everything work, okay? All the bonus that work in the Crazy Joe. Next one, Tundra trade route. It is same like other event. I tell you, before starting your truck in the Tundra trade route, you have to activate the pet skill, you have to activate the city bonus, also the deployment capacity, also the minister buff. Before starting your truck in the Tundra trade route, you have to activate pet skill, city bonus, and minister buff, all three of them. Then you can start your truck to get the benefit. Alliance buff will definitely work. Territory buff is not working in the Tundra trade route because it is a truck event, okay? City bonus, I told you, before starting the truck, activate the city bonus. Daybreak Island work in the Tundra trade route. March acceleration will not work because you are not going anywhere. Your truck is moving, but you are not moving, okay? So, no March acceleration. I told you minister buff work in the Tundra trade route, but you have to activate that before starting your truck. Expert skill work in the Tundra trade route. Skin buff also work in the Tundra trade route. Next one, arena. In the arena, almost nothing work. Pet skill will not work in arena. Alliance buff will not work in arena. Territory will not work in arena. City bonus will not work in arena. Deployment capacity, there is no arena use. Daybreak Island not work in arena. March acceleration will not work in arena. Minister buff will not work in arena. Prisoner skill will not work in arena. Only Holgar skill from the expert that work in the arena. Okay. Holgar expert skill work in the arena. And skin no work in arena. Next one, Frostdragon Tyrant. In the Frostdragon Tyrant, it is the very important event. Pet skill definitely work. Alliance buff definitely work. Territory buff will not work because we are not sitting in our alliance area. We are fighting in a different zone when you are fighting in the Frostdragon Tyrant, okay? So territory buff will not work. City bonus is very important for Frostdragon Tyrant. You need the 10% or 20% buff. Deployment capacity also work in the Frostdragon Tyrant. Daybreak also in the Frostdragon Tyrant. March acceleration. For the Frostdragon Tyrant, we have a different March acceleration. You can purchase the pack during the event, okay? We have different type March acceleration for the Frostdragon Tyrant. Minister buff work in the Frostdragon Tyrant. President buff work in the Frostdragon Tyrant. Expert skill definitely important. Expert skill, okay? It will work in the Frostdragon Tyrant. And skin also work in the Frostdragon Tyrant. So here you see the full chart about all the buff and all the event. I think I covered almost every event. I also covered every buff. I did not talk about hero gear or hero widget. Okay, there are a lot of things I did not talk about them because those are easy. Everyone know that. These things are confusing, so I made a full chart on this. I hope you understand. I talk about almost every buff one by one. I talk about almost every event one by one. If you think I tell something wrong, or if you think I missed something, you can tell me, I will add that. And if you want this chart, you can take a screenshot from this video, or I will try to put the screenshot in the Discord. In today's video, I discussed about all the possible buff for the Whiteout Survival. If you have any confusion, this can clear your confusion. Guys, this type video is very difficult to make. It take a lot of time. So if you enjoy my content, you can hit the like button. If you don't enjoy my content, you can hit the dislike button. Today I talk about all the buff of Whiteout Survival. If you have any question, you can ask in the comment. That is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.